about to blow, waiting for me to start the show. Out the curtain, lights go up, I'm home. Whoa! And my father said, when I was younger, hard time free better man. You took it all away, I give it all away. You take my freedom, didn't change the game, a better man to play. I built my kingdom, now you bow to me. You took my dreams but not my name. You'll follow me till the end. I have my kingdom. Lights go down, I'm ready now. Tear this roof up for the town. Gonna give them what they came to see. Hear the crowd on the toes, ready for me to start the show. Out the curtain, lights go up, I'm home. Whoa! And my father said, when I was younger, hard time free better man. You took it all away, I give it all away. You take my freedom, didn't change the game, a better man to play. I built my kingdom, now you bow to me. You took my dreams but not my name. You'll follow me till the end. I have my kingdom.
And ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode. This is the Sports Cave. Your co-host, Robbie. Let's welcome back our co-host, Zach Roden. Welcome back. You have zero tan whatsoever. What the fuck did you do out in Miami?
Well, you know what? It was actually incredibly high UV index rating. Apparently, is what I was saying. So I was saying, stay away from the sun. You get burned nice and easily. When I was in the Dominican, I remember I got crisped. They just absolutely just fucking cooked. So I told myself I'm going to be extra careful here. And you know what? I know this isn't doing me much justice, but I am a little bit darker than when I went. It's the bright lights. It's everything is making me look white. But I do
Carl Lover,
promise.
what's up, bro?
How we doing? How we doing, everybody? Carl Lover, Ryan, Bob. How is everyone tonight? We have a big national championship game later on. UConn against Purdue for the men's. Me and Robbie are both excited. Not too excited about the 9:20 p.m. start time for this game. I mean, I feel like we're kind of getting the fucking shaft on that one over here a bit, Robert. But hey.
Oh, it's the same shit that happened last year. But you know what really helps the cause, Zachary? Do you know what helps the fucking cause?
A couple suds.
What?
Couple beers.
What? The highlight.
It is Monday.
Big.
Like I said, folks, hope you guys all had a great weekend. Missed you guys last week. I was in Miami. A little news about that trip here. Almost broke my ankle within, I'd say, fucking 6 minutes of being at my Airbnb. We have a basketball net at our Airbnb with a little half court there, and it was at Dunking Heights. So your good old papa here, Zach, went to go slam one back down and basically fucked up my entire ankle, sprained the shit out of it. It was about the size of a balloon for pretty much the entire time I was in Miami. But Robbie, a couple Advils, about 45 Busch Lights, and we were just solid. We were ready to go. So no slowing down.
Tears were shed by Zach Roden too.
No tears. No tears. I very well could have. It's still, I don't know if I can show you on the camera.
What are you doing? Get your fucking foot
You're
off.
not going to be able to see it, but it's still very swollen. It's still very swollen. More than a week and a half later. But
you sick bastard.
Yeah, by the way.
Oh, changing the summer tires. Yes, summer is here. Summer is here.
Feet picks. Ryan, hit me up after. I was just thinking about starting an OF for feet picks.
What's it stand for?
OnlyFans.
Thank you.
But Robert, we have some sports to talk about here. So why don't we dive right into this?
All right. Well, listen, we all know what tonight is. Tonight is once again the biggest night for the state of Connecticut because this is all we have to look forward to. Our UConn Huskies are in the national championship game again. Looking to go back to back. The first team to do that since, could you guess the team, Zachary?
It's got to be like Kentucky.
No.
Kansas.
No.
UConn.
No. Well, I mean, this is their first time going make the attempt for back to back. No, Zachary, it's not. I'm really disappointed that you don't know
Duke.
this. No.
I don't know, man. Who is it? Oh, Florida. Okay. Well, hey, there you go. How long ago? That has to be a while ago.
You know, Carl Lover, not a bad guess because it seems like Alabama dominates all college sports. Not a bad guess. Yes, the Florida Gators. Al Horford, Corey Brewer. I think Joakim Noah was on the team. Yes, that's the last time a team won back-to-back national championships, and UConn is looking to be the second team to do so. Prior to us making our picks and breaking down this game, Zachary, we do have some news that we need to talk about, and I had to double-check my phone just to make sure this was true, and they finally did it. I said they've been needing to do it for years, and it has happened. The Kentucky Wildcats, don't know if he was fired or if he elected to leave, but John Calipari is out. He is out of Kentucky.
Bye-bye.
Leaving the university. I believe he started there in 2009 all the way till 2024, 15 years with the program, one national championship, I think 3 Final Four appearances. He is now going to the Razorbacks. He is going to Arkansas, better known as Arkansas, for the next 5 seasons. Zachary, I know you don't know shit about college basketball to a crazy extent.
Well, I know, John.
I'm not the biggest college basketball, enthusiastic type of guy, but we all know John Calipari.
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to say that I was surprised by the news they're moving on from him, but definitely, there we go. Definitely was surprised about just the immediate, like it was like just no news of him gone. He's just joining Arkansas over there. And then I've been hearing some rumblings that apparently Kentucky is ready to roll out an absolute bag for, is it the UConn coach they're going for?
Yep, they want Dan Hurley. Kentucky wants Dan Hurley. They are probably the most prestigious college basketball program in history. They're right there with UCLA, right there with Duke, right there with North Carolina. Hell, you could probably put UConn in the equation as well, right there with Kansas. And they want Dan Hurley bad because at the end of the day, it's like what I said. What do you want to be known as program? Do you want to be known as the program that sends out the most NBA ready talent, or do you want to win championships? I told everybody, just one. Everyone, I swore he won two. No, he won a championship with Kentucky. And the story continues to go with Anthony Davis having to tell the team the halftime adjustments to make, not Calipari.
Yeah, if you think about like a school like of Kentucky's pedigree, there should be a lot more than one national championship in the last 15, 16 years, in my opinion. But I mean, I guess we wish him the best of luck now at Arkansas. I feel like
No, I don't. You
Well,
can wish him the best of luck.
I
don't
wish
like
the
him.
best of luck.
He's a piece of shit.
Well, Robbie shows his he does not like Mr. Calipari, but
Nope,
I think
never
he's
had
definitely.
no- Do you know why I don't like him, Zach?
I'm not too sure.
Because after he left the University of Massachusetts, he went to the NBA. The NBA. Do you know what team he coached in the NBA?
The Brooklyn Nets, I'm guessing.
The New Jersey Nets.
New Jersey Nets.
And did you know that he elected to draft good player for the Nets? Good player. Kerry Kittles. When everybody else wanted fucking Kobe Bryant?
Well, that's a tough one.
Yeah. So he can go fuck himself because he is retarded.
And 6 minutes in, folks. 6 minutes into the live part of the show. Oh, Ryan, thank you very much.
Thank you, Ryan.
But Robbie, why don't we get into these picks here? Like we said, we got UConn.
Picks, but you know what I was trying to look at, Zach? I was trying to see what kind of players he's had throughout the history, because there's been so many fantastic players he's had. So let's just go through his resume. I got it right here. One national championship in 2012 with Anthony Davis. 4 Final Four appearances. 5 30-plus win seasons. 2 38-win seasons, most ever. 38-0 start in 2014 and 15 to when they eventually lost against, I believe, to Frank Kaminsky, Sam Decker, and Wisconsin. 12 SEC titles. Founder of the one-and-done era. No fucking shit. Most NBA players produced by far. What an era with the GOAT. What a bunch of shit. What a bunch of fucking shit, dude.
Yeah, one title. I cannot see him getting one in the next 5 years with a team named the Arkansas Razorbacks for basketball. But hey, I guess stranger things have happened. I mean, there's a team called the Purdue Boilermakers in the final, so no one would have said that fucking 10 years ago.
But now that he's heading to Arkansas, it's wide open. He has a whole roster to work with.
Arms wide open.
It's probably going to be a dominated freshman team, and Arkansas is going to be a team to watch. But at the end of the day, they'll just be another Kentucky. Maybe one national championship, maybe, but a lot of NBA-ready talent. I can't wait till they play Kentucky. He's going to get booed out of the building. You're damn right he's going to get booed out of the building, because if I'm not mistaken, he was given a lifetime contract by the University of Kentucky. I believe he elected to make this move more so the Kentucky fire him. Like this, there's not enough information on here. We're not getting all the information that we truly need.
We have our NCAA correspondent in the comments, Bob, saying that he elected to leave for Arkansas. I'm not sure the legitimacy of Bob's sources, but for some reason, I'm trusting Bob here. I'm trusting him.
Well, listen, you can't trust his sources. One time he sent me a tweet saying that Lamar Jackson might be heading to the Cowboys when he's a free agent. And the page that posted had 6,500 followers, and he said it was legit. No, sorry. I'm gonna wait till we get the correct information from whoever. But there's a video where he was walking his dog, and they asked him why he's taking the Arkansas job, and he said he's walking his dog. He didn't give any information. So we'll find out the true details, whether he was fired, whether he decided to leave. We're going to find out. But if I had to guess, he probably did leave, because you lost to St. Peter's the year before. You lost to fucking Oakland this year with the guy who's only attempted 8 field goal attempts in the regular season from 2-point range and over like 350 from 3. And you never knew that because you probably didn't study your film. But the other thing I saw is that, I checked out in February. Both him and Bill Self are fucking losers.
Dummies.
Dummy. Yeah.
Fucking stupid fucking idiots.
Let's see if TJ will give me a yeah. TJ, can I get a yeah? He will not give me a yeah. I tried.
Well, you gave it your best. You gave it your best shot there, sir. But yeah, I mean, I guess we'll have to wait and see what happens next year with Arkansas, the Razorbacks.
So here's what I foresee, Zachary. If you are still there, not more. Okay, you're not lagging anymore.
Nope.
Here's what I see. If the UConn Huskies win the championship this year, I can't see Dan Hurley going to Kentucky. But if they're going to offer him a better contract than what they offered John Calipari and UConn loses tonight, I can't blame Dan Hurley for leaving whatsoever. It's going to suck, honestly, but I mean, We don't have the money that Kentucky has.
I was gonna say I actually can't even blame him if they do win back to back and he still opts to take that money because you got to think this is probably going to be a, as you just said, the biggest amount of money that he could ever see in his career. I mean, if they're that serious about you, obviously, as you just said, Kentucky obviously has a little bit more cash flow in the bank would be my assumption, but I mean, I don't think it'd be too crazy to think if he does go back to back. You got to think the guy is not going to have the same roster going. Going into next year. Hard is to win 3 championships in a row,
let alone 2
with the same team. So I mean, I don't think it's completely out of the cards, even if they do get this W tonight, that there's a very real possibility that he will accept whatever sort of lucrative cash offer he'll be getting from Kentucky. If that's actually true or not. I mean, this is all shit we're seeing on Twitter, right? So we gotta, like you said, I'd like to wait and see a little bit more come out, just so I can make a better judgment call on it.
Yeah, like I said, I can't foresee him leaving Connecticut if he wins a national championship this year. I can't because he's a competitive guy. When Tristan Newton's gone, and if Castle is going to leave, they have some assets off the bench like Jalen Stewart, Diarra. If Klingon stays another year, if he doesn't, then you have Johnson coming on, taking over his slot, and he's done pretty well. Like, I don't know. It's all a matter of we'll see what happens. But John Calipari out of Kentucky over to Arkansas. Are we going to call Arkansas or Kansas?
I mean, I believe they're Arkansas, but I guess Arkansas is kind of fun too.
Arkansas is kind of fun. Arkansas.
And that was gay. Well, Robbie, let's get into the scores here.
What's in here? You're not going to start this shit now. All right? You're an asshole. We were off this mic in another one. We are not doing this.
All right. Anyways, I am just going to go on a limb here, Robbie. I'm going to do my pick here, sir. We've been riding with them all year. It would be silly for me to change my mind now. And I will be going against my fellow Canadian, 7'4" center for the Purdue Boilermakers from Toronto. I will be going against him, and I'll be riding with our UConn Huskies. I'm taking UConn, Robbie. They've just demolished every single team they played in this tournament. I know Purdue is obviously going to be their hardest test, but they have played some fucking incredible basketball teams and have made literally light work out of them. So I think Purdue's back's going to be against the wall. I think once you shut down the game of Zach Edey, it's Purdue's obviously that's their biggest strength, where I feel like UConn, they're kind of a lot stronger all over the floor. You know, they have weapons sort of at every spot. So I'll be taking the Huskies there, Robert.
Well, Zachary, I mean, I'm not going to fucking waste everybody's time because we know them from the great state of Connecticut. We know what I'm fucking rocking today, and you know where my mindset is at. I am going with the UConn Huskies, of course. Let me tell you something. Zach Edey is a big boy, 7'4", 300 pounds, but him and Dominic Klingon both have something in common. They've never faced anyone of their size. Dominic Klingon's never faced someone close to his size. Neither has Zach Edey. Therefore, it's going to be fair game. Dominic Klingon has been locking down the paint. Locking that shit down. I have a hard time seeing Zach Edey getting buckets easily like he was against DJ Reed, amongst other centers across the NCAA. Dominic Klingon will hold his own against Zach Edey. And if he gets in foul trouble, then we have Johnson coming off the bench, and he can hold himself as well. It's going to come down to the guard play. Tristan Newton, I don't know where the hell you have been, but you have got to show up. We need you to facilitate that offense, make those deep three-point shots, finish the N1s, attack the rim, play great defense. Castle, I think Alabama in that game against UConn, leaving him wide. You know, we didn't even break down the Final Four games. I mean, leaving him wide open from three due to the fact that he's a 27% three-point shooter, and he knocked them down with ease when they let him butt-ass naked wide open. I need that Castle today. I need Cam Spencer to be that annoying little brother disturbing the Boilermakers. I need that person to Cam Spencer. I need Caravan to hit those three-point shots. I need great execution. I need back-to-back national championships. I need the UConn, UConn.
Did you just do this, the cheerleading thing there?
It's not the cheerleading thing. Big Red has been doing that for over 35 years, 40 years. You don't know who Big Red is because you're not a UConn enthusiast.
Well, if you don't chew Big Red, then fuck you. Famous line from Talladega Nights.
Bye.
None other than Mr. Will Ferrell.
Ricky Bobby.
But well, Robbie, that was quite the passionate little speech you had there, sir. I feel like you've just inspired the Huskies to go out there and get that back-to-back championship.
You know, another thing I had to mention.
Here we go.
Never. I'm going to start taking the day after the national championship off. Let's talk about the start time. You got the Central and the East, and you're accommodating to the West with the 9:20 start time. What the fuck are you doing? Fuck the West Coast. Make them use of half a day. All right?
It should be, I mean,
use a half a day because people are going to be using a full day tomorrow. I mean, I used a vacation day today, not even thinking that the national championship was tonight, weeks ago when I put the day in, and I'm not going to call out tomorrow. So there's going to be probably the whole state of Connecticut is going to go into work with bags under their eyes, especially if you're getting up for 4 a.m.
Yeah, 9:20 start time's a bit ridiculous. I always thought these primetime games would be like 8 p.m. start, which I mean, still 8 p.m. is still a little bit late, but it's at least doable. 9:20 is fucking ridiculous. I mean, that's the time this game ends. It's fucking 12:30, 1 o'clock over here. It's absolutely brutal. I mean, thank God I'm gonna do my best to stay up for it, but there's probably a good chance I don't fucking make it through this entire this entire game, Robert. And we're getting are you live calling somebody on the show here, Robert?
You listen here, Plouffe. You keep fucking making fun of some fucking retards on TikTok and at them at me again. I'm gonna finish that job of your chick tooth and knock it out of your fucking mouth.
We're doing a podcast here. What the fuck was that?
Dude, look what he put in our freaking group chat.
I'm not looking at my phone.
Why is it everybody that has some sort of Down syndrome looks like me? Why?
I guess you got to answer that question. I mean, Robbie, in his defense, it actually looks a lot like you. Anyways, we'll get back to the sports here, Robbie. We will get back to the sports here. So we both got UConn here. I guess those are our picks for the men's national championship game tonight at 9:20. Wrapping up with the NCAA as well, too. We had the women's tournament wrap up on Sunday, I believe it was. Sunday or Saturday. I think it was Sunday. Probably Sunday. South Carolina Gamecocks get the undefeated 37-0 season, extracting their revenge from Iowa from last year's Final Four defeat. Caitlin Clark and Iowa come just short 2 years in a row, back-to-back years, losing in the championship game. I mean, obviously, not the way Caitlin Clark wanted to end her career, Robbie. I see you're a little bit upset over there. But you got to give credit where credit's due. I mean, she's not even just the greatest female NCAA basketball player of all time. She's up there with one of the greatest NCAA basketball players of all time for the accolades she did. So sucks that she was never able to get that championship, but got to give credit where credit's due. And I'm sure she'll be making some big splashes in the WNBA next year.
She didn't deserve, honestly, to go to the NCAA championship.
Terrible call. Terrible call.
Are you like what the? I gotta find the video because that is just absolute horseshit. Even if she was moving in the slightest bit
at that point of that game, you can't make that call. Yeah,
you cannot call that.
For those of you guys that are just listening, what Robbie's talking about here is in the Final Four game, Iowa versus UConn. There was a late offensive foul called on one of the UConn players. There had to be fucking less than 6 or 7 seconds left in the game at this point, maybe even less than that. And it basically sealed the deal for an Iowa win. But yeah, here's the video. We can all agree it was just not a very strong call, especially at this time of the game.
On the line. Mule, the drive, 5 seconds left. Looking for Beckers and the offensive foul. An offensive foul on Edwards with 3.9 to go.
Bullshit.
They were trying to set a screen for Paige Beckers to get a look here. Aaliyah Edwards barely leaning, and the foul is called.
Yeah, I mean, you watch that in slow motion with that time of that. You can't make that call.
Critical defensive.
One more time. Let me go one more time.
Tell you what, though, I'd like to get to know Gabby Marshall a little bit better.
That's such a bullshit fucking call. Zach, I'm going to just come out and say an opinion that I don't know if you're going to agree with. I don't know if anybody's going to agree with, but I have a new stance. The NCAA is the most rigged sport in all sports. More rigged than boxing when it comes down to the card. Because at the end of the day, you still got to punch each other in the fucking mouth. More rigging than UFC or Bellator, because at the end of the day, you still got to punch each other and kick each other in the fucking mouth and try to tap someone out. And it comes down to the judges. It is what it is. There could be an outcome. That Paige Becker's going to be wide open from 3. She nails that shot 8 out of 10 times. The NCAA couldn't have it to where, surprisingly, the UConn women's team can't go to the national championship. We need Caitlin Clark to go there because of all the accolades. It is bullshit. That foul is atrocious. And Tim Donaghy pointing out in the documentary on Netflix how easy it is to rig games because he did it many a times. And there was a call prior to that where there was an Iowa player driving down the lane, didn't get touched, tripped on her own feet, and they called a foul on Connecticut. She got 2 free throws out of it.
Yeah, there's definitely a little bit of fugaziness happening there behind the scenes. I mean, I'm not going to be a conspiracy guy and say rigged, but I will say I think UConn ladies got absolutely hosed with the calls in that later on in that game.
I'm just absolutely disgusted with the bullshit. And thank God we got Becker's 4 more year. And you know it really does suck, Zach. I believe this upcoming season, RIP, it would have been the freshman year of Gigi Bryant. Kobe Bryant would have been in Connecticut.
Well, that's a bit of a damper to the episode right there.
It is, but it's just the fact of the matter. It's the truth, man.
Well, let's vibe this up a little bit. Vibing that up. It is obviously very sad, but Robbie, you know what? They got hosed. We got a lot to talk about here, though, sir.
I know we got to be off 8 o'clock, so maybe this will actually be a good Raw after Mania. So since I brought that up, let me just go through it really quickly.
Yes, sir.
Zach, I'm only going to break down the one match, and that's the one match you tuned in, and you tuned in at the right time because we had the same main event as we had last year at WrestleMania, folks. What the hell is that?
Oh, welcome, Sonia. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for gifting a sub out there.
See, you say I never bring anybody to the show, you fucking asshole.
Who the fuck is that?
Don't worry about it. Thank you, Sonia.
Oh, Sonia.
Welcome.
Thank you, Sonia. I didn't say always. I was just saying we're fucking psychic people. We are definitely. I've reached my peak, unfortunately. I'm a fucking loser because clearly I'm a loser with all the videos that Plouffe sends out and says I look like people fucking Down syndrome.
I mean, hey, I'm not even gonna comment on it because that one video he sent, you looked. Well, Jesus, got to follow too.
And now
you looked a lot like it in that one video he sent me. You definitely resembled them quite a bit. Well, you'll have to go on the Sportscape page too, Robbie, and give Sonia a follow as well afterwards.
We'll definitely do that. And Sonia, I hope we don't make you like burst out laughing while you're at the gym and everyone just like stares at you like, is this girl all right? Is she all right?
Well, let's hope to God not, sir. But let's what
all
are we
right,
doing
I gotta
here
break
next?
down the fucking match really quick. We had the fucking main event. We had Cody Rhodes. We had Roman Reigns. And you tuned in right at the right time. Zach, the whole time, so I put on the third flick. I told you. I was like, just put on the fucking match.
That was my first wrestling experience. I'm not gonna lie to you, man. There was a few parts where I'm like, what the fuck am I watching right now? But it was also it was also kind of exciting too, you know?
Dude, that was arguably the greatest WrestleMania main event in history. And you're going to have Bob coming in with the whole Hulkamania, Hulk Hogan this, Hulk Hogan that, brother, Hulk Hogan. Fuck Hulk Hogan. That was awesome. It was incredible, dude. You tuned in where you had, those were twin brothers, in case you didn't know, Zach. They were a tag team for over 10 years. They had their match the prior two. One of them was aligned with Roman. One of them was aligned with Cody. So the one aligned with Roman comes out, super kicks Cody. Then the brother comes out. They attack each other on the ring. And then the main event, Jey Uso spears his brother, Jimmy Uso, off the stage. Pretty fucking high, too. And Plouffe, if he's here, he could probably tell us about it because he's been to a WrestleMania. That's a high fucking stage, Zach. That's uplifted. Probably 10 feet in the air through 2 tables. Then you get Solo Sikoa coming out. Same thing as last year's WrestleMania. Cody hits 2 of his finishers, the Crossroads. Solo comes in and does the spike. Then John Cena comes out, and this is where it starts picking up. John Cena comes out, and he gives the FU to Roman. He gives the FU to Solo. Then The Rock comes. The Rock comes into the ring.
This
All
was
over
all in a
again.
span of 5 minutes, by the way, folks.
Yes. In case you didn't know, Zach, The Rock and
I
Cena
was
faced off
fucking
in
just
2
flabbergasted.
WrestleManias. 2 WrestleManias they faced off. Nearly 10 years to the date. Rock bottom to Cena. And then, you probably didn't know who that was after, Zach. The Shield. The Shield.
Never heard of that guy before, to be honest with you.
It was a 3-man group with Roman Reigns.
The
was in the
Shield.
match.
That guy could have came up with a way better fucking nickname than that.
No, but they were sick, though. I cannot hear the word comes seriously. There's a lot of coming.
Yeah, there
There's
was
a lot-
coming everywhere, Car Lover. There was so much cum all over that goddamn ring. It was insane.
Then you got the Shield, and that's where I was starting to go nuts because I didn't know what the contract status was for Jon Moxley with him being in AEW. Seth Rollins comes out, Roman cuts him off. Then The Rock is about to take his weight belt again and start beating the shit out of Cody Rhodes with the weight belt. And then you hear, done. You didn't hear glass shatter. You didn't hear Austin 316. You heard the bell for The Undertaker, who chokeslammed The Rock all the way to hell. And after that, we're reset. Cody and Roman. So we thought. Cody's on one side of the ring, Seth Rollins is on the other side. So, Zach, the reason why Roman did what he did is because 10 years ago, The Shield, the 3 members, Batista ended up quitting WWE. Triple H comes out and he says, there's always a plan B. Seth Rollins, the gentleman in the ring, 10 years ago, takes that chair and smashes as hard as he can against Roman Reigns' back. Roman looks over at Seth in his Shield uniform. Nostalgia hits, and he gets revenge from 10 years ago, and it cost him. Cody Rhodes, your new WWE champion.
Well, like I said, it was my first time ever watching. I'm not going to lie to you, Robbie. It was by far probably the most retarded I've ever felt my entire life, but I'm not going to say I didn't enjoy it. There was definitely a little bit of enjoyment factor behind it, but I don't know how you guys, I guess WrestleMania is a big event. I feel like I would have not enjoyed it if all those big names hadn't come out. But for my first introduction, I'll say it was a lot better than I thought it was going to be.
See, you haven't been following for years because if you
No,
followed it like
done.
I did, if my dad did, if Plouffe did.
Oh, I heard your guys' reactions yesterday. It was like you guys were losing your fucking marbles watching that. I couldn't laugh my
was
ass
the
off.
greatest 5-minute span in WrestleMania history and arguably the greatest match ever. So here's the story with Cody Rhodes, Zach. Cody Rhodes was highly regarded when he first came into the WWE. He was in a faction called Evolution because Randy Orton was the leader and he was supposed to evolve Ted DiBiase Jr. and Cody Rhodes. And he evolutionized DiBiase because he's in tax evasion frauds and he's probably going to jail.
Nice.
That's what's going to have DiBiase. We'll never hear from that guy.
Nice.
He also gained like 70 pounds and is fatter than me. So that's not good neither. So Cody Rhodes, Vince McMahon really disserviced him. He came out as a thing called Stardust. He had his face. It's like another version of his brother, and his brother kind of is an embarrassment of a wrestler, even though we all find him funny and like him. He's kind of embarrassment of a wrestler. Cody gets let go. He gets Legacy. You're right. It was Legacy. It wasn't Evolution. You're right. Legacy. Thank you, TJ. It was Legacy. It wasn't Evolution. Evolution was Triple H, Ric Flair, Batista, Randy Orton. They fired Cody Rhodes. And he went to acting school, and it didn't work out. So he went back to wrestling, and he started going into the indie scene with the Young Bucks, with Kenny Omega. Then he starts up AEW. And just when you think he's going to stay in AEW for a long time to compete with the WWE, he comes into the WWE. His father never won the world championship. When he did, he held on to the belt for like 10 seconds, then immediately lost it. He felt like his family was disowned by the McMahons. And his father passed away many years ago, wasn't there to celebrate with him, but you could feel the spirit of the American dream as the American Nightmare captures his first ever WWE championship. And it ends, Zachary. Roman Reigns is, I think it was 1,314 days as WWE champion, the 4th longest reign in history.
It ended Roman Reigns' reign.
It did. See what you did there.
That's what I'm here for right there. That is exactly what I get paid the big bucks for.
And that's her. Oh, and since TJ's in here, Gunther lost his Intercontinental Championship after 666 days. 666.
Gunther, very nice, yeah.
Yep. So that is our little WrestleMania recap. We're just going to stick with the main event because we'd be here forever if I talked every single match. But
Yeah.
looking forward to the Raw after Mania. That's why we're trying to get off 8 o'clock. Because It's a new era. They mentioned it 75 different ways. Oh, Zach, fucking another amazing moment. WWE Hall of Fame. They elect Paul Heyman goes into WWE Hall of Fame. He was the founder of ECW. And his speech, he goes, if you think ECW died in 2001 when we filed for bankruptcy, then you can suck my fucking dick.
Well, that's a pretty all-time line right there. TJ Maxx. It's a good store.
I didn't know you had TJ Maxx is out there, car lover. Yeah,
And,
it was pretty intense. And we're entering a new era with them going to Netflix. We're probably going to see them open up more. It might be the end of PG era. It'll never be the Attitude Era because you're not going to see the women fully naked, unfortunately. But it is what it is. It is what it is.
They were fully naked before?
I mean, there's videos out there of them like showing nips.
Well, I guess I should have got into wrestling a long time ago there, Robert.
You're like 4 or 5 years old and that happened. There's a reason why I wasn't allowed to watch it, clearly. All right. That's the it for WWE. All right. Let's just transition to the NBA. Just a couple of notes.
Yeah. Yeah. You get through that puppy.
The worst news, if you're a Knicks fan like my father, tune out because Julius Randle is out for the year with a shoulder injury. So, Zachary,
Bye-bye.
before we go into continue this, I'll ask you, what does this mean for the Knicks' playoff hopes?
I tell you one thing right now. It's I don't want to say it completely diminishes them and puts them out of a deep playoff run possibility because they still do have a somewhat deeper team, even without him. You got guys like Brunson stepping up. If OG can stay healthy, he can step up. But fuck me, that is a pretty detrimental loss if you are the New York Knicks right there going to the playoffs. Not even to the shitty part is the poor guy for the last 2 months has been working his ass off to get back. I mean, obviously, if they would have known this news 2 months ago, they would have gotten the surgery done 2 months ago. He would have already been 2 months ahead. Not saying he would have came back this year, but helps him more for going into next season. But this is kind of the worst case scenario if you're the New York Knicks. I mean, I don't want to say you have a team that you finally have a team that can make a run, but you have a team that can get out there and compete with, I would say, pretty much anybody in the East. I mean, obviously the Celtics are the kind of the outlier fantastic team, but I mean, a 7-game series against a full healthy New York Knicks team, that is not an easy team to beat no matter which team you are. Without Julius Randle, though, that is a big hole they're going to be missing, and I think it's really going to fuck them over.
And the Knicks are kind of going all in this year because OG Anunoby is in the last year of his contract. They elect to move on from RJ Barrett and Emmanuel Quickly. Quickly was a great spark off their bench. RJ Barrett, they were still waiting for the progression. He kind of stayed right where he is, mid-tier form, kind of good, but kind of mid. I don't know what he's looked like on the Raptors, Zach, but the name RJ Barrett hasn't stuck out whatsoever ever since he got sent over to Toronto. Neither has Emmanuel Quickly. And it looks like it didn't really help your situation either because it felt like you guys got worse once you traded OG.
Well, I think we're fucking missing like 8 guys right now.
Yeah, the injury bug definitely hit the Raptors all at once. But back to the Knicks here. Not having Julius Randle has its perks and non-perks. And the reason why I say perks is a lot of times in a 7-game series, you're facing the same player over and over again, and he's the same old story. You have to force him to his right because he has no right hand. So when the guy needs his 15 to 16 shots per game and he's only making 30 or 40% of them through the amount of games that they played, that's not a good thing, obviously. But this really shows, like, right here, Jalen Brunson, whatever he can showcase in the playoffs upcoming can really attract the top free agents in the NBA. Jalen Brunson could change the Knicks forever. Just when you thought that it was all done with the Knicks in New York City, Kyrie Irving, Kevin Durant, they signed with the Brooklyn Nets. Stephen A. goes on the air to say as much as the Brooklyn Nets are now the face of New York basketball. And just less than five seasons, Kevin Durant, Kyrie, Harden, they're all out. You bring in Jalen Brunson on probably the best contract in NBA history. He has turned the franchise around tremendously.
180.
Are, once again, a hot destination potentially for free agents. You see the way Josh Hart's been playing. Dante DiVincenzo. I think they could still make a run. I think they could potentially make it to the Eastern Conference Finals, but that's just about it.
Well, I guess we're both in agreement that we just don't think this is going to be the next year, unfortunately.
I don't think it's going to be the year. They definitely went all in, but I don't think losing Julius Randle is as detrimental as it would be for OG Anunoby.
Well, I guess we'll have to. I guess we'll wait and see. Maybe they band together in this recent loss.
Maybe. We got 3 games left, essentially, for the NBA season, Zachary, for most teams across the NBA. The 76ers, who just got Joel Embiid back last week, are 1 game out of the 6th seed. They are the number 7 seed. They are 1 game back of the Indiana Pacers. How important is that 6th seed for the 76ers?
Honestly, I don't really think it's that important for them, to be honest with you. Is 6th, 7th, anywhere in that sort of region? I mean, if they make it to the play-ins with Joel Embiid healthy, I think they're going to absolutely destroy whatever team that comes in their way in that play-in series. So I guess now it's just giving themselves a better matchup for round 2, or I guess theoretically would be round 1 if they are in the play-in series. But I don't really think it's that detrimental. I don't think it's really that massive if they get that 6th seed or not. I mean, 6th or 7th, no matter what, as long as they're getting themselves into the dance, I think that's all we need. They dropped pretty big in that fucking in that Eastern Conference standings without Joel Embiid, but it seems like he's back and he's not missing a step, Robbie.
No, I agree. But at the same time, I think that is very important, only due to the fact that any rest you can give him to potentially stop.
That is true.
Swelling,
that is true.
That's why I think it is more important for the 76ers to be the 6th seed than the Heat or the Pacers. So they really got to let's compare the 2 schedules. I haven't really had a chance to look. So the 76ers the rest of the way schedule. The next 3 games. So they have the Pistons tomorrow, which should be an easy win. They have the Magic on Friday, and then their season against the shitty-ass cum dumpster Brooklyn Nets.
Oh, well, that's what we're calling them, the Brooklyn cum dumpsters. That's the new nickname for them. I'm okay with it. I'll ride with that.
And the Indiana Pacers, the next 3 games they have. Well, they definitely have a tougher schedule than the Sixers. Might be an easy win tomorrow, maybe, but it's on the road in Toronto. Pascal Siakam might have something to prove against his former club, but the next 2 ain't going to be easy. On the road against the Cleveland Cavaliers and at home against the Atlanta Hawks. And you're probably saying, well, the Hawks aren't hard. Well, they're getting Trae Young back. And we
Thank
know
God.
When
really?
Nitty gritty.
Okay, well, let me look at that right now. I got Trae Young on the bench right now in fantasy basketball, but that's a good little splash to get for the finals. Oh, and the finals in that league is over. Fantastic.
Carl Lever, 2 a.m.
Carl Lever, brother, thank you for joining in here, sir. Very enjoyable as much. You know what? It's very enjoyable to have you in the show, Carl Lever. Okay. So you keep getting back. Don't change your attitudes because it's fun. It's fun. This guy's fucking making me blush over here. Carl Lever, you have yourself a good night, brother. We will see you next Monday. Same time, Marcus, same place.
Shout out to Marcus because, you know, that he's definitely I always see him in Marcus's stream. Obviously, he loves his cars more so than sports, and just for him to pop in randomly, we appreciate it, bro. You have a great sleep.
I guess we're making him laugh. We'll take that shit right there.
We'll take that.
Yeah, so obviously, as you were saying, Indiana definitely is a way tougher. Well, did you finish off the schedule?
Yeah, I did.
You got Atlanta Hawks, and then who's the team they faced second last on the road? Oh, Cleveland Cavaliers. Yep. Okay. Two tougher games for them. I mean, at this point, I feel like the Philadelphia 76ers probably will end up taking that 6th spot, just because, in my opinion, they are the better team. As you just said, they have the weaker schedule. And you are correct. I really didn't think too much about the rest for Mr. Embiid, but yeah, after missing, 2 months, maybe just a little bit over 2 months, I think at any point they can get some inflammation down for this guy. That 6th seed would actually prove to be pretty nice for them.
All right, although he's not listening, and he always wants me to talk about them when he's not fucking listening to the show because he's trying to pretend like he's the greatest basketball player to ever live, our Steve Sabansky wants us to mention that since Russell Westbrook has returned, the Los Angeles Clippers are 7-2 with his return. How important is his gameplay for an NBA Finals run?
Honestly, I actually think it's very important because he's kind of proven to be that guy for them coming off the bench. I don't know if he just kind of brings like an extra spritz of fucking energy when he plays, but it does seem that the team does play a lot better when he's in the lineup. We saw the record when he went down with an injury for the last 3 weeks, whatever it was. So, I mean, I think he's a pretty critical piece, especially coming off that bench. You're not going to get any worse having Russell Westbrook in your lineup, in my opinion. I know he's older. He's lost some of his game, but he's still a fucking hell of a basketball player. So I think this is a pretty critical piece in one of the closest Western conferences I've ever seen in my entire life.
Unbelievable.
Like
I mean, the Warriors are 8 games above 500, and they're the 10th seed.
Yeah, there is easily 4 teams minimum that can win an NBA championship this year coming from the West. Like if they wanted, if we fast forward now to 3 weeks and they're the champions, whether it's, I'm not even going to go through the teams, but there's about 4 or 5 of them in the West where I would be like, yep, that doesn't surprise me one bit. Doesn't surprise me.
Well, I think his play is very important, but I don't think Russ will be the problem in the playoffs, Zach. I think we know where I'm going is going to be the problem in the playoffs.
Who's that?
The cancer known as James Harden, because his experience in the playoffs have not been good in his career ever, and I've been through it, and Steve has been through it as an OKC fan. Even though they made it to the NBA Finals, yippee-ki-yay, he didn't step up when needed in the NBA Finals. And there's already, you can feel some tension between James Harden and a fellow co-star on the team. Do you know who that is?
Paul George? Kawhi Leonard?
Paul George.
Ah,
Paul George.
nailed it.
Paul George has really expressed his feelings in the last couple of weeks with the Clippers. I believe he's set to be a free agent. The Clippers didn't hesitate to get a deal done for an extension with Kawhi Leonard. We've been waiting on Paul George all season long. Paul George. I don't know if he's going to be a Clipper next year, Zachary.
What type of contract is he looking at? Because he's obviously a little bit older, right? But he's
Well,
still.
let's be honest. If fucking Jaylen Brown's getting $64 million, and Paul George is going to get over 50, 55.
Oh, fuck. That's I should have.
Kawhi Leonard's
should've
getting
played
over.
basketball.
He had a $50 million contract extension for 3 years. Yeah, we should have played basketball. But
I
Zach,
tried, actually. I almost fucking broke my ankle, so I don't play basketball anymore.
look at us.
Yeah, we're white as sin right here. We are just white as snow.
If
We can lay a ball up fucking better than anyone else, but that's pretty much all we got.
I could shoot, but I can't make a layup, and I could barely shoot. So, yeah.
All
right.
right.
Last thing. Two more things. Who's your NBA MVP? We're 3 games left in the season. Who's your NBA MVP?
You know what? Just because I had him in fantasy basketball and he's been riding with me all year long, I'm gonna have to say the Joker's my MVP. But in my heart, I want it to be Shy.
I fucking hate you.
Shy missed in the last couple games, or at least last couple weeks. I think might have hurt his chances a little bit. I could see it going to Luka. I think right now it's probably a two-headed race between those two, Luka and Joker.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say Joker. That'll be my MVP pick.
All right. Well, I'm going to stick with my preseason one because he's been absolutely incredible this year. He leads the league in scoring. He's averaging nearly a triple-double. The Mavericks have been on a hell of a run since the All-Star break ended, where last year they fell off. I'm sticking with Luka Doncic. He has been absolutely incredible this regular season.
He's been on fire. I mean, and like I said, that's a guy that I easily could say. I mean, theoretically, if I didn't have Jokic on my fantasy basketball team, I might have very well leaned that direction as well. But I gotta stick with my boy. You know, I gotta stick with my dog.
I think at the end of the day, it's going to come down to either Shy or Doncic, but I think Doncic is going to edge Shy out.
And he'll get his first ever MVP award.
Well, they're both in contention for the first MVP. I don't think it should be Jokic this year. His numbers are so elite, but the thing with the MVP award is like you always have to re-elevate. You know what I mean? It can't be nearly the same every damn season. If that's the case, LeBron is in his time in Miami would have won so many MVP awards.
While we're talking about this too, did you hear what that dumb fuck Gilbert Arenas said about Nikola Jokic? That he is by far the worst basketball player that's ever won an MVP award. Gilbert Arenas, what the fuck did you win? I was listening to this guy and I'm like, I was absolutely flabbergasted that someone as terrible at basketball as Gilbert Arenas, sure, he might have had his moments back in the day, but fuck you, Gilbert Arenas, you're shit. I was absolutely flabbergasted.
And this is the thing that probably no one wants to hear. It's safe to I mean, I can express my opinions if they want to express their opinions. I think Gilbert Arenas and Kendrick Perkins are racist.
And I fucking fully agree with you because it's you have Perkins last year saying that he's only winning the award because he's a white guy. You have Gilbert Arenas saying that this year, which obviously, I mean, I hate to play that card, but I think there was a bit of a racial background to that a little bit. I mean, it's the Perkins one, in my opinion, was a lot more straightforward. That this guy's just doesn't like whites.
Yep.
Which is okay because I don't like you, Perkins.
Well,
Perkins. I don't like you, Perkins. That's just Perkins.
you better
just
fucking
Perkins.
really really quick.
Ooh, we almost got canceled.
Wow.
Just for the
Breaking news. Zachary hates
No. Just to clear some air. We are a black-friendly podcast here. We are
You're
a
an
white-friendly
everybody-friendly
podcast. We are
love
an Asian-friendly podcast. We are a Mexican-friendly podcast. We are every race in the world-friendly podcast. But you, Kendrick Perkins and Gilbert Arenas, you two losers can stay home.
Well, I hope I'm Mexican-friendly because my brother's Mexican.
See.
It's funny because softball yesterday, I have a couple coworkers that came onto the team, and I brought them over. Everybody was like, "Hey, we look alike, right?" And they were like, "Yeah, I guess." I was like, "What you mean says no, right?" They go, "Yeah, that's my brother." How? I told you I have a fucking Mexican brother. No one wanted to fucking believe me. No one wanted to believe me.
Well, Robbie does keep a Mexicano, that's for sure.
All right, last thing, Zachary. So if we're talking about the two best teams in each conference as it stands right now, I think OKC is still the 1 seed. The Celtics.
Oh, Mark. And that right there, folks, is just the agreement. That's just the acceptance that we needed here. If you're watching this with your visual, we have our good buddy Marcus, our half calf, giving us the green light. The green light.
He has, but I'm not going to use it. I'm not going to use it. So we had OKC going in Boston last week with no Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. They're clearly the two best teams in each conference for what it looks like. And the Celtics absolutely destroyed OKC. So, Zach, I ask you this. Let's say the two number 1 seeds ended up in the NBA Finals. OKC versus Celtics. Who would win that series and how many games?
I mean, honestly, the way that the Boston Celtics have been playing this year, I'm going to have to say them in at most 6. I think Boston is well on their way to a championship this year. They've clearly been the most dominant team all year long. It obviously is a big matter of can they stay healthy, because coming now down into the end of the season, they are, I don't know if they're just resting guys, but there are some guys in their squad that are definitely dealing with a little bit of injuries. It'd be nice to get them all back and healthy. But if we have a healthy healthy Celtics against a healthy OKC, I'm going to have to unfortunately take the Boston Celtics.
I think the Celtics win in 4. I think it's just like Drew Holiday would have his way with Shai Gilgeous. Like, Shai is going to get his buckets. He might average 23, but he's averaging 30 right now. Like, Drew would do what he would need to do. Chet's not going to do anything spectacular against Porzingis. And when Porzingis is out, Horford is a great defender. No one is going to stop Jason Tatum or Jaylen Brown. Jalen Williams might be able to stop one, but you got to defend one or the other. I think this, even off the bench, Peyton Pritchard has really stepped his game up within the last couple months, let alone couple weeks. So when you have him and Derek White playing at a good level, there's just no team that I think could compete with the Boston Celtics, barring any substantial injuries.
Well, I guess we are in agreement to that right there, sir.
But I got the Celtics at 4. I see him sweeping OKC if it came down to them.
Well, hey, I mean, it very well could. It very well could.
All right, we're going to try to get these notes going as fast as I can. So we're going to break down the MLB really quick, and we have some bad news. Pitchers, once again, are feeling the pain. Guardians pitcher Shane Bieber, who I believe is a former Cy Young winner, if not contention, one of the better pitchers in baseball, is getting Tommy John surgery. Spencer Strider, who is definitely a candidate to win the NL Cy Young Award this year, pitched great for the Braves last year, has UCL damage that could eventually lead to Tommy John surgery. Garrett Cole has UCL damage that could lead potentially to Tommy John surgery, although it looks like it's not going to lead to that direction. Zach, the common denominator here is something that isn't supposed to go around rapid like this. Like, it happens once or twice a year.
Yeah, it seems to be coming.
In baseball, Tommy John surgery, not good. That ends career. So I ask you, Zach, what do you think the reason is for all these fucking elbow injuries?
I mean, can we maybe think that the pitch clock might have a little bit of something to do with this over just a growing number just from last season alone from all the pitchers now that are coming out with their injuries now this year? I mean, you think about it, the amount of time these guys used to have to reset, refocus. Maybe they have a little tweak in the elbow. Okay, let's give this fucking 35, 40 seconds. Let's let some blood flow into this puppy. Now it's nope, pitch, get the ball, set, pitch, get the ball, set, pitch. And I feel like that constant fucking work with, I mean, I'm not saying they're able to rest really much anyways without the pitch clock, but it does that maybe that few extra seconds every single pitch ends up being quite a bit near the end of the game. Maybe that's one of the reasons why. Either that, or I was reading something. I don't know who was the one that was saying it, but he kind of, it sounds so stupid, but it actually kind of makes a little bit of sense to me. These guys are in too good a shape nowadays.
I don't.
If you think back in the day, these pitchers were kind of fat lugs, this and that. How many Tommy John surgeries and all these injuries happened back in the day with these guys throwing their mid to high 90s, like a Bartolo Colon. Okay. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think these guys need to fucking drop the weights for a little bit and get that little protective layer of fat around your ligaments.
Well, here's the other problem too. And I think this is something everybody needs to really take consideration. Trevor Bauer could single-handedly be responsible for this as well, and here's why. I don't think what he did was wrong. It's kind of like what they were doing with the whole spider tack thing was like their version of steroids, another way to cheat the game. But a video resurfaced of Tyler Glasnow when he was with the Rays, and he openly came out and said, I understand this whole thing with spider tack's going on. I'm going to be honest with you. I have been cheating. But I have not been using spider tack. He said, I've been using rosin and sunscreen. And the reason for that is these baseballs don't have, and I can kind of, I played baseball. I don't know if you play baseball, Zach. I was never a pitcher. A couple times that I did, when you're releasing the ball off the seam so many times, that shit fucking hurts, dude. There's a reason why these pitchers get blisters from those seams. There's nothing that they can use to fully grip that baseball. He said that he feels like he has to hold the ball harder and it's forcing more force up his elbow all the way up to his shoulder. That's why these pitchers are I mean, go look at Major League. You have that 45-year-old pitcher that talks about he has Vaseline and whatever on his chest to gain an edge to grip the ball better. I mean, sweat and Max Scherzer last year used sweat and rosin. They told him to clean up with alcohol, which he did. He cleaned up with alcohol. With rosin, which he's allowed to use the fucking rosin, and then they eject him for cheating when he followed their fucking protocols. The MLB needs to just stick with, okay, this is what you're going to use, bottom line. Because it can't be just rosin. It doesn't work. If they got to use sunscreen and rosin, then let them use it. Like, that's a part of it. So when you combine the fact that they can't grip the ball properly, and they have 18 seconds or 13 seconds, whatever the time is to throw the pitch, in between sets, yeah, that's hard. Your reigning NL Cy Young winner, when you made the rules, Sandy Alcantara, guess what happened, Zach? Tommy John surgery.
Yeah, you're bringing up a good point. Rob, I'm going to be straight up honest with you right now. You're going to have to hold the fort down for 30 seconds. I'm about to piss my pants.
You don't prepare yourself for situations like this?
I thought I went before.
I always pre-piss before we go on the air.
I clearly forgot.
This is a common theme. Get the fuck out of my sight.
Next topic.
Next topic. Zach had blood coming out of his piss for he held on to it for way too long. Depends. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to leave that right there for when he comes back because I know he's going to have something to say. So you probably shouldn't have put that there, Dad. But there's a good chance that Zach is going to reiterate in a very rude way. So show and tell. That is going to stick there. Okay. But at the end of the day, too, if we're going to talk about the substantial of these injuries for both teams, that was going to be a big trade piece for the Cleveland Guardians with Shane Bieber because they definitely got to start over and new. I don't know. Remember, we're only a couple games in the season, so they could be up there in the stands. But when we're talking June, July, they're probably going to fall down the standings. They got J-Ram, and that's just about it. Excuse me. And Spencer Strider, terrible, terrible blow. This is his second Tommy John surgery in his career. Not good. Did you see what he said to you?
Yes, I saw that. And Bob, I'm not your age, so I don't need Depends. Bob, you might need some Depends after you probably shit your pants after I mollywopped you in fantasy hockey semifinals last week. fucking growl. Honestly, I will give Bob credit. I actually definitely did feel bad for him because did you see the other semifinals? Like Bob would have crushed any one of those two, but he had to run into the brick wall. Zach Roden and Robbie's crying.
Oh shit.
But Robbie, let's keep going with some MLB news.
I hope Sonia turned off the stream, bro. I really hope she did.
Well, we'll find out later. That's for sure.
Let me tell you something, Zachary. I don't know your relationship, what your friendship status may be, but that is a beautiful woman, buddy. Look at you.
Well, she's a very beautiful woman. Very beautiful woman indeed.
You drink that Busch Light. You drink that Busch Light.
I am drinking that Busch Light. It's my fucking last one. I thought I had 4, only had fucking 3, dude.
All right. I was just getting over saying Spencer Strider going down. It's going to hurt the Braves, but I mean, we've seen this team win the World Series without Ronald Acuna Jr., so anything is possible. And, it's not determined that Tommy John is going to happen. It might be an option. So we'll see what happens with Strider. So let's move on to the next topic. Let's talk about your Toronto Blue Jays really quick and mix it in with the Houston Astros. As Alek Manaea and Justin Verlander both struggle in their first rehab starts. And Zach, Alek Manaea got sent all the way as far as fucking Single A last year where he had his rehab start, and he was getting rocked all season long. What is your worries with Alek Manaea? As you know, there's going to be a comment coming in the comments.
Yeah, I know Bob is definitely cooking something up right now, but big fat Manaea. Honestly, Robbie, I'm at the point now where I don't really give a fuck what happens with this guy anymore. If he makes it, he makes it. I don't have any expectations for him anymore. At this point, the Jays, I like our pitchers. Bob, that's a very good question, actually. I'm not exactly too sure. But I think, he's it is crazy to me that this guy was so good that rookie season, and now it's not even like he's bad. He is so bad, like horrifically bad. So it's a big mental thing for him right now. Hopefully he can fucking find a way out of this little mental cave he's put himself in. But yeah, not a good start. Not a good start for him. Not a good start for Verlander. But obviously I wouldn't be near as worried about Verlander as I would be about Alek Manoah.
Well, we got our buddy, former friend of the program, Johnny, from Gate 14. He posted yesterday a message to Alek Manaea. Shall we listen to what he had to say, Zachary?
Yes.
All right, I'm just going to play the audio because there's no video.
I will remember you. Will you remember me?
Okay, I think we've got the gist.
Don't let your life pass you by.
Kind of a pretty good voice, actually. If you...
Oh, the memories.
I got to say.
I will.
All right, we don't need to repeat. That was pretty impressive.
I mean, that's the work right there of the Gate 14 Christmas album they did. So I'm sure he might have gotten a couple singing lessons for that puppy.
I'm going to give Johnny a round of applause.
That was impressive, Johnny. That was very impressive right there.
That was impressive. I wasn't expecting that. Justin Verlander, I mean, if it is the end of Justin Verlander, the guy had a successful career. He's over in his fucking 40s pitching. I mean, kudos to him. But Alek Manaea, ever since he talked what he talked about Garrett Cole, Zachary, combined between the majors and minor leagues since that time period, a 6.13 ERA, a 1.78 whip. Whip is walk, hits, and innings pitched. 101 hits, 16 home runs, and 66 walks.
Yeah, it has not been. It's been uphill trekking for Mr. Manoah, and I think he is still got so much more uphill to trek. Excuse me.
But the problem, Zach, is that he needs to start walking up these hills and lose some fucking weight.
Yep. Yeah, well, I mean, he clearly likes his fucking food. You know, he is a fat fuck. There's just nothing else we can say about it. I'm done talking about this fat loser until he figures his shit out. Fuck you, Bob. Next news.
I'm sorry, but I had to bring this up for my purposes. I'm sorry. It's still shitting on the Blue Jays. The Yankees beat the Blue Jays in a 3-game series at home over the weekend. The last time the Yankees won a home series against a team in the AL East was in what year, Zachary?
I'm not sure, but I know that the last time the Yankees got shut out in their home opener was in 1967, which happened to them this year to the Jays.
It did, but you still lost the series.
Well, I actually don't know the year of the series, to be honest with you. I'm going to say 1984.
It was 1967 the last time they got shut out, and the last time they didn't win, or the last time they won a series at home against the AL East team wasn't 1984, you fucking retard. It was 2022.
Well, it was just a good guess, I thought, because
No, that was absolutely fucking cute.
well, the way that you worded it, you made it sound like it was a long time ago. All right.
It's not my problem.
Well, congratulations on beating our fucking pitiful Toronto Blue Jays in a 3-game series.
Why are they pitiful?
It's not after the start. I want him to be off. It just seems like Vlad is just fucking terrible to start this season. I mean,
He had a 460-foot home run in game 1 of the season. What happened?
well, what happened was he hasn't fucking figured it out yet, okay? Not liking the Jays star right now, but hopefully they can turn it around. Very long season. I am not giving up hope just yet.
Are you sure?
Move on to the next goddamn topic, sir. It's already 7:31.
Well, honestly, I'm trying to find a video here for you. I'm trying to find the video here. But let me talk about my Yankees really quick. So that is an embarrassing fucking stat, dude. To not win a home last year, you mean to tell me when the Rays, the Red Sox, the Blue Jays, and the Orioles. I mean, I guess the Orioles are understandable. They were fucking awesome last year. But you couldn't win a home series last year against the Red Sox, against the Blue Jays? Are you fucking kidding me? I mean,
Hey, don't put us there with the Red Sox.
I am going to put you there because you guys fucking stunk last year. You're lucky you made the playoffs. Vlad was terrible last year. Bo Bichette carried you guys. And when he got hurt, that's when all you guys were like, oh no. Am I wrong? Am I wrong?
No, you're wrong, and you're stupid.
Moral of the story, we beat the Blue Jays, and you want to talk about tone deaf. Let's look at this tone deaf retard here.
Oh, God. Here we go again.
It's always hit the Yankees well.
He fucking shuts the crowd down 6 rounds. He fucking shuts the crowd. What an idiot. He shuts them. Shut up.
Look at that score, dude. Who the fuck are you shushing? Hold on.
Can't see the score. It says
I
live
know. I'm
stream.
going to get rid of this fucking banner. Look at the score. Who are you shushing?
He's obviously shushing the crowd. That's probably been making fun of him, making very mean, if I would
You're
assume, a New York crowd.
down
Probably
9-3
racist remarks.
It probably wasn't racist remarks. You shut your mouth. This isn't Boston. Look at the score.
I can see it's 9-3. All right. Maybe it was loud in there. He's just trying to keep it quiet.
Okay, let's talk about a team in our division, the Red Sox. So the Red Sox, I think they're playing their first home game either tonight or tomorrow. They've played 10 games already on the road. And they are 7-3 on the road. So I ask you, I know we're only 10 games in. I mean, Cody went crazy last year. We remember when we brought him on about the Pirates. Can the Red Sox be a better team than what we expected?
I mean, I think our expectations were so low that, yes, they can be. I just feel, obviously, as you just said, the Pirates last year got that hot start. They're doing the exact same thing to start this season off as well. But I think at some point reality will set in for this Red Sox team, and they will find themselves at the bottom.
I think they're going to have a decent offense this season. The problem is definitely going to be their pitching staff because their pitching staff is weak as fuck. They have a solid lineup, nothing great. I mean, when you still have Rafael Devers, you're doing something right. However, though, it really depends on Tristan Casas and how he's going to step up into his sophomore season. Like, he is going to be, I mean, the Red Sox fans are really high in Bobby Dahlbeck. Bobby Dahlbeck has done great in AAA, including hitting a home run in AAA over 500 feet. Tristan Casas has to be that guy, or else it's going to be a back and forth cycle. Bobby Dahlbeck, Tristan Casas, Bobby Dahlbeck, Tristan Casas, potentially. So and Red Sox fans are expecting the worst, as they should. There's nothing, but the 7-3 start is nice to look at for, like, well, maybe there's a chance. But
it's a confidence booster for sure.
Are still low as they should be. Don't get ahead of yourselves. But I will say, I didn't expect them to go 7-3, but it also helps when you face a AAA ball club like the Oakland A's. I got to talk about those cocksuckers really quick. I got to talk about them. I didn't mention it. I'm sorry. So, this is officially the last season in Oakland for the Oakland A's, as it is over. Until a potential, because it seemed like it was guaranteed, but the mayor in Las Vegas seems disinterested about having the Oakland A's come to Las Vegas. They're playing in Sacramento in a stadium filled with 10 to 14,000 people. And they won't sell that out either. And
Yeah.
the difference of money to keep them to stay in Oakland is $36 million. And do you know what's crazy, Zach? That's just around what they're paying in their payroll for MLB players. You have the Dodgers who are giving out billion-dollar contracts. You have the Yankees. The Astros have stepped up. The Cubs have stepped up. The Mets have stepped up in payroll. The Blue Jays have stepped up in payroll. You guys paid a handsome amount of players the last couple seasons.
Yeah. We're seeing the way this league's going, so we're going to have to.
About ownership. This is Major League. This is that movie Major League where if I make them lose enough games, I can take them. She wanted to take the team from Cleveland to Miami. They wanted to put them from Oakland to Las Vegas. For what? For fucking what? I get that Vegas is a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful city. But you mean to tell me there's no one interested to buy this team? You mean to tell me that Steph Curry can't get a group around him and buy this team and make them relevant? Whether they stay in Oakland or they go across the bridge, it doesn't fucking matter. Because everything is leaving Oakland. And what I'm really trying to get at here, Zach, is I'm just sick of the fucking owners across sports. Because you got the Kansas City Chiefs trying to move into Dallas, and have us. I don't live in Dallas, but I'm sure the New Yorkers can relate to this with the new Yankee Stadium. You're fucking billionaires. Why do the people that fucking work their ass off to make a median income, nothing spectacular, have to pay for your fucking building? You're billionaires. How is that fair that taxpayers have to pay for these fucking buildings, these stadiums? It's not. You're fucking worth 10 figures. Fuck you. Build your own stadium, you fucking dicks.
That's a very, very, very animated Robert Clark right there, folks. Very animated. But I have to agree with what he's saying. I mean, these cheap fucks, that's how they make it. I guess it's how the rich stay rich, because they're all a bunch of cheap cocksuckers.
Yeah, they are. All right. We're like 20 minutes away, so let's let's blow through
the award
our
picks
and award winners.
Okay, can I go first?
I swear to God, if fucking Vlad is your fucking MVP, I swear to God.
For my NL MVP, it is, I mean, there's so many good players in the National League, but this one is so tough to pick against, rather, I should say. He won it last year. I could definitely see him winning it again this year. I could see him winning it again next year. It has to be, for me, Mr. Ronald Acuna Jr. For the American League, Robbie, I have Bobby Witt Jr. as my 2024 American League MVP.
What I like how you're going a little bit outside the box there. I kind of like that.
Well, you know what? I see what this kid did last year. He's still so young. He's the face of this Kansas City Royals team. I wanted to do someone, or kind of choose someone that, not to say that a lot of people wouldn't choose, because obviously the guy's got a very high pedigree, very high ceiling. But
a lot of people aren't choosing him.
Yeah, that's my pick right there, is Mr. Bobby Witt Jr.
I'll tell you what, I kind of like it. I like how you're going a little bit outside the box there. I did that last year when I picked my NL Cy Young with Logan Webb, which I'm not going to do this year because he's definitely one of the tops. I like that, Zach. I like how you're going a little bit risky there. I like it.
Now, you want to do your MVPs and we'll just keep going like that? Yeah. Or do you want me to go through? Do you want me to go through all mine? Yeah, let's do that then. Who's your MVPs?
So my NL MVP, I'm going with Mookie Betts, and this is prior to this crazy start that he's already had. The reason why Shohei's winning all these MVPs prior to was the whole pitching accolades. A lot of his hitting numbers kind of, like, I thought Corey Seager hit the ball way better than Shohei last year, but because Shohei pitched, he got the nod. I think Mookie is the best player on the Dodgers because he could play short, he could play second, he could play every position in the outfield. And I feel like that lines up with the MVP. So I'm going with Mookie prior to even this crazy start that he's had to the season thus far. My AL MVP, call me a homer, but how can I not say that this guy isn't going to play his absolute brains out to make $60 million a year like he wants? I'm going with Juan Soto as the AL MVP. I don't view it as a homer pick, Zachary. I'm viewing it as just like what Judge did. I'm going to show you why I need to be one of the highest paid players in baseball. I'm
Well,
going to show
I
you the
mean-
reason why I turned down 13 years, $350 million from the Washington Nationals.
I mean, homer or no homer pick, I think he actually is the betting favorite right now. So I can't hate that pick there, Robert. I can't hate that pick. But what do you say we get into some Cy Young winners here?
Let me guess your
Now
AL right now. It's probably your AL is Kevin Gausman.
Nope. My AL is recently acquired Corbin Burns of the Baltimore Orioles.
Good pick. Good pick.
And my NL, I kind of just did the easy pick on this one. I got Zach Wheeler.
I wouldn't say that's an easy pick because
Well, I mean,
a lot of people are looking at Strider prior to the injury. A
Yeah.
lot of people are looking at Logan Webb. I have Zach Wheeler as well. I mean, the reason why I have Zach Wheeler is this dude literally just signed a contract relative to his former teammate, or actually, no, he wasn't teammates with them. Excuse me. Former ball club will go with Justin Verlander and Max Scherzer, where he's making over $40 million a year. He's going to show why he's worth more than Aaron Nola, who the Phillies locked up immediately in free agency. I got Zach Wheeler. In the AL, you got Corbin Burns. Guess what? I got Kevin Gausman.
Oh, wow.
I have Kevin Gausman. This guy, I don't think he won 2 years ago, right? He didn't win it 2 years ago.
No, he's been in contention, I
But
think, for
he's
the last
been
couple of years.
right fucking there. And with Garrett Cole getting hurt and missing time, this guy is arguably the best pitcher in the American League, better than Corbin Burns, in my opinion. I'm going with Kevin Gausman.
I like that there, Robert.
Comeback player of the year. I got two pitchers. I'll go first for this one.
Yeah, you go ahead.
The NL right away, Chris Sale. I think that the Braves are going to utilize him correctly, where the Red Sox really need to get the best of what they could out of Chris Sale last year to try to stay in contention, where the Braves are just going to use him the right way. I think we'll see 150, 160 innings pitched, but really good innings pitched. So I got Chris Sale for the NL. In the AL, I have to go with this pick. This is definitely homer. This is definitely a homer pick, but I have to because he's getting fucking over $30 million fucking dollars a year. He's got to start showing it, and that's Carlos Rodon.
Yep, I did see his name up there, Robbie. Good picks. You are going to have a good laugh at my AL comeback player of the year. I'm going to start off with the NL.
Vlad.
My NL comeback player of the year tore his, I think it was his ACL last year. Tore something. Edwin Diaz, the closer.
Ooh,
That is going to be my comeback player of the year for the NL. And then, Robbie, don't get too excited yet because my AL comeback player of the year, Alek Manoah. Yeah. Get in there, big guy. Get in there. Get in there, big boy. Alek Manoah. It's my AL comeback player of the year.
You're retarded.
That's my homer pick. Moving on, Robbie, we have the rookies of the year for the AL and the NL. I mean, the AL, I think we both had the same one because we already talked about this earlier. He hasn't played yet, but Jackson Holiday, I think, has to be my AL rookie of the year. He will come up at some point.
He's got to.
And then the NL, another one I feel like I kind of made the easy way out on this one. It is the Japanese pitcher joining the Los Angeles Dodgers, Yoshinobu Yamamoto.
Yamamoto.
And those are my rookie of the year picks there, Robert.
Well, my AL, like we said, I think it's very easy. I think he's going to get called up at some point. I think it's going to be like the same thing we saw Chris Bryant. He's going to be the AL rookie of the year winner. That's going to be Jackson Holiday. My NL is the guy that the Milwaukee Brewers locked up, Jackson Chourio.
Very nice. Now, Robbie, the managers of the years to the AL and the NL, I feel like I might have a bit of a surprise picks for you here.
Well, I'm kind of keeping it safe because I think they're going to have the
You
best.
go first.
I think they're going to have the best records of baseball, and it can't be unnoticed. So I'm going to go with Aaron Boone in the Yankees. I'm going to go with Dave Roberts in the Dodgers. Last year, I went as far as to go with not Brandon Staley. I forget
That's
the
NFL.
fucking. I know it is. His name is Brandon for the Orioles. I knew he was going to take that next step last year. He did, and he won it. So I went a little bit outside the box. But this year, I'm playing conservative. I'm going to go with Aaron Boone and Dave Roberts.
I am not doing conservative at all. I'm going very off the board here. My AL from the Detroit Tigers, I have AJ Hinch. I think this team is young. I think they're ready to make a big jump. And for the NL, just you know what? I feel like maybe because we have a friend of the show that might have thrown me into this equation a little bit, but I feel like this Pittsburgh Pirates team, Robbie, has a young roster ready to prove something, and that's why I have Derek Shelton, their manager, as my NL manager of the year.
I like it. I have some breaking news for you.
Oh, bam.
The Phoenix Suns are signing Isaiah Thomas for the rest of the season.
Little late playoff push for the
And he's
Phoenix
back in
Suns.
Phoenix once again. I know he's signed a couple 10-day contracts, but he's back in Phoenix. Good for him.
But
Slow
Robbie, So I believe is that all we got for the MLB?
That's all we got for the MLB. So let's get through whatever shit you got.
You know
between
what?
hockey and
Yeah, okay. I think I have a little bit of NHL news to go through, a little bit of NFL, and then we can end it off doing our Masters picks for the very big Masters golf tournament. Starting off with the NHL here, I mean, the Art Ross Trophy is the closest I think I've seen it in a long time. There's 3 players now this season at 130 plus points. As of now, Nikita Kucherov has the lead, 6 points over McDavid, 3 points over Nathan McKinnon. I believe that maybe McKinnon got points last night. I could be wrong on that, but nonetheless, I'm pretty sure that Kucherov still has a lead. Robbie, do you think Kucherov is going to finish the season with the most points? Do you think any of these guys can rifle off 15 points now in the last 5 games to hit that all-elusive 150-point mark?
No.
I think very well they could.
Who do you think can? You think Nathan McKinnon can?
I think all 3 of them, to be honest with you. If they get hot, could one of the 3 I could see finishing with over 150 points. I think right now this is Kucherov's award to lose. But like I said, it's going to be very interesting to see how this finishes off. And speaking about McDavid, also on the news, Robbie, he is now 1 assist away from being the 4th player in NHL history to have a season with 100+ assists. He has 5 games left to do it. He is obviously going to do it.
Well, he's definitely going to do it when Zach Hyman has over 50 goals in the season.
Yeah, and I mean, if I was with McDavid, I would have 40 of those goals. That's how easy those goals are for Zach Hyman. Speaking about McDavid, I'm really purring through this one here, Robbie. McDavid's highest goal total in a season was 65 goals. It's the highest goal total probably within the last 20+ years in the NHL. Austin Matthews now sits at 64 goals, 5 games left. I mean, I'm going to assume he's going to hit the 65, Robbie. Do we still have a possible window open for a 70-goal season for Mr. Matthews?
5 games left? I think so, because this dude was putting out hat tricks like it was nothing earlier on in the season.
Well, he's goalless tonight so far against Pittsburgh at the end of the first period, so keep our eye on that. But Austin Matthews, 1 away from Ty McDavid's goal record total for himself at 65 goals. Matthews also becomes the first or the only active player now still playing. Ovechkin's still playing, by the way. Stamkos still playing, by the way, to have 2 60-goal plus seasons. So the guy is a natural born goal scorer, an absolute animal. Bringing it into the playoff picture for hockey, it looks as if the Toronto Maple Leafs first round will be set. It looks like it's going to be the Florida Panthers in the rematch of last year's second round. Florida Panthers are kind of plummeting down a little bit in the standings right now. There's actually not even just a chance, like a decent chance that the Leafs could jump over them and get home ice advantage going into this playoffs, which would be massive for them. They have 6 games left to Florida's 4, where Florida sits 5 points ahead. So it's going to be tough trekking for Toronto, but there's a possibility. Robbie, real quickly, what are your thoughts on another Toronto-Florida matchup here?
Scared. Absolutely scared, because what version of Matthew Tkachuk are we going to get? Are we getting Bobrovsky fucking saving everything that comes in his direction like he did last year? I would say scared.
And I'm going to agree with you. Not exactly what I wanted to see, that's for sure, Robbie, but unfortunately, that's what it is. And Robbie, last but not least for hockey, I am fucking purring through this. This is fantastic. Last but not least, the wild card race for that last wild card spot and the last spot.
Because I've heard so much about that.
So
it's near neck and neck in the Eastern Conference.
Yes. Right now in the Metropolitan, the New York Islanders hold the 3rd spot in that division. 77 games played, 85 points. Right behind them in the Metro is the absolute surgingly hot Sidney Crosby ran Pittsburgh Penguins, who are on fire right now, sits 2 points back of them. I mean, they were dead to rights a week and a half ago, Robbie.
Yes,
and now I feel like they are probably the favorite to at least take this last wild card spot. They sit 1 point behind.
Sidney Crosby's been playing arguably some of the best hockey in his career, and it looked like it was going to go to waste, but not in his
exactly. Life. He is putting this entire team on his back. I mean, the guy's a fucking just an absolute legend. At worst, they're 1 point behind the Detroit Red Wings here for the second wildcard spot. But I think that their sights are set a little bit higher, Robbie. I think this Pittsburgh team has the potential to jump the Islanders and take that 3rd wildcard spot, which would match them up against the Carolina Hurricanes. But if we're going to be honest, I think I'd probably rather play the Hurricanes than the New York Rangers if I was the Pittsburgh Penguins in that first round. But I mean, it is Washington could get in, Philadelphia could get in, Pittsburgh could get in, Detroit could get in, the Islanders could get in, Robbie. It is tighter than a nun right now, sir.
It's tighter than Lisa Ann and Prime.
Wow, that pussy's always been pretty loose. And with that, Robbie, that is it for our NHL news. I did that in about 8 minutes. We now have 10 minutes to, you know what, real quickly, while I'm in the zone here, Robbie, let me purr through this very short list of NFL news because we had a couple signings, but one big piece of news we have to discuss before we end off with the Masters. Going over a couple signings here, Kyle Duggar signs with the New England Patriots, 4-year, $58 million with $32.5 million guaranteed. Robbie, as a Patriots fan, what are you expecting to see from Mr. Duggar?
The same thing that we've been seeing from Kyle Duggar. I mean, I believe he started off as a corner and he's elevated to safety, and he's going to be the one to fill in for Devin McCourty's absence. Yes, I agree with Plouffe. Love the signing a lot. Unfortunately, I mean, Plouffe will relate with me. If the Patriots stay healthy, because last year when they lost Christian Gonzalez and Matthew Judon, it seemed like it all went to shit. And it took nearly until like week 10 for that defense to really blend in and mix well. The defense for the Patriots last year, very underrated. I'd say damn near elite last season. Once week 10 came around, they were playing great ball. But the problem with the Patriots is going to be is when they're holding opponents to fucking 17, they're only going to be scoring fucking 7 or 10 points. So I'm really hoping, I mean, it almost looks crystal clear that they're going to draft a quarterback. If it's Drake May, if it's Jane Dan, I don't want to see J.J. McCarthy. Do not draft J.J. McCarthy. But if they do, please, the right one, and don't give them a defensive coordinator as an offensive coordinator, please. I still think Mac Jones got done wrong.
Make the right decision. But Kyle Duggar sticking around in New England, also sticking around with his team, not New England, but the Carolina Panthers, bringing back defensive tackle Derek Brown and a 4-year, $96 million contract with $63.135 million guaranteed. Robbie, I mean, I guess the Panthers got some money to spend here. You know what I mean?
No, I guess the Panthers are fucking blind. Seriously, dude. Honestly, let's be honest. You draft Bryce Young, and all you did was bring in Deontay Johnson. I don't believe in. Seriously, Mike Tomlin gets the best out of his receivers outside of Antonio Brown. Every Steeler that's ever left has never gotten better.
Yeah, no, I would have to agree with you.
Was mid with the Jets. Martavis Bryant, too much weed, ruined him. Chase Claypool has
smoke weed every day.
Deontay Johnson's not going to be that good in Carolina. Why are they not doing the right service by trying to protect either protect their quarterback or get some better assets offense? Adam Thielen was the only good player last year, and Adam Thielen's at the end of his career. And you know what? It all goes back to ownership because they're lost with the ownership. I think the Panthers are just an absolute joke. I think that Bryce Young, we're never going to get to see the real Bryce Young because he's not going to get what he should have around him. And it's probably a good thing that C.J. Stroud ended up in Texas with the Texans because of.
Well, and that is a great segue into the last bit of our news here, folks. And that is the Houston Texans making the splash of the offseason, acquiring all-pro wide receiver out of Buffalo, Stephon Diggs. We've been seeing the last couple of years. I think he's been done with Buffalo. Houston Texans take advantage. And Robbie, did they ever take advantage, in my opinion, of this Buffalo Bills team?
And you know what? They did a really good service too of we're like, this is Diggs, like he had a couple years, I think, left in his contract. This is his only year. Like they want him to prove himself. Like everyone, and they're not wrong. A lot of people have lost faith in Stephon Diggs and think that he go show why you're one of the best wide receivers.
Exactly. So the Texans receive Stephon Diggs and a 2024 6th-round pick, as well as a 2025 5th-round pick for a measly 2025 2nd-round pick. Not even a 2nd-round pick in next year's draft.
I love it. I love it. I think that the Texans, look what they've done, dude. They're going to be
a scary team.
They brought in Joe Mixon, which is an upgrade from Devin Singletary.
Yep.
Diggs, Tank Dell, Nico Collins, Dalton Schultz, they brought back. The Texans?
Watch out.
Listen.
Watch out.
Knock on wood, prior to any injuries with C.J. Stroud, lock that shit in. AFC South champions. Knock on fucking wood. God protect them. We saw him got concussed.
Ooh, if they get injured, that's your fault.
It probably is. Protect him. That was unexpected. I didn't see that coming. Not in the slightest.
I mean, I guess Diggs does finally get his wish. He's out of Buffalo, and I mean, if we look at Buffalo's
And
receiving
the
core
rumor
now,
for
this
him leaving, the rumor for him leaving is he didn't believe they could take down the Chiefs, and I don't think that was dating back to last season. I think that was this offseason when they moved on from Micah Hyde and Jordan Poyer. They moved on from Gabe Davis. They moved on from a lineman or two, I believe. Like
Tre'Davious White too was gone too.
They moved on from. Like, do you blame him? Do you blame? Because
No,
I'm on the record of saying that I don't think they can even make a wild card. I don't. Like,
Yeah,
what
this team is
they
going
have
to
to hit
deplete
on the
next
draft
year.
because I understand they had that kid that Devo. I don't know if you're still here. I saw you on YouTube. Not Devo logged off. There was a receiver that was really taken by storm. Dad, maybe you remember. There was a receiver really taken off, but he's a smaller size. Like, I don't think he's like a Tyreek Hill type of guy. Like, I don't know like what they're looking at and how they think that they can get through this AFC East when you have Aaron Rodgers coming back and when you have the Jets bringing in Mike Williams and Morgan Moses, and there was no lineman they brought in. No, Tyrone Smith. Like, I don't know how they can even think about defeating the Jets, and then you still got the Dolphins.
Yeah, I mean their backs are against the wall next year massively.
Like,
Massively.
Josh, free him. I've been on the record, Zach. I will give up our third pick this year. I will give up 3 more first-round picks to bring in Josh Allen because you have your quarterback.
That's a lot to give up there.
But the problem is we're in the AFC East, and they're going to want 6 or 7 of them bitches, and that's when I say nope.
That's when that motherfucking foot gets put down. But Robbie, that is it for the little bit of NFL news we have here, sir. We got about 3 minutes left to purr through some absolute 2 minutes. We had an exciting Masters weekend approaching here. I mean, if anyone, whether you live under a rock, whether you're a golf fan or not, you know what the Masters tournament is. You know what it is, Robbie. I'm gonna get right into it.
As they should. They shouldn't be playing no fucking 54 holes of golf.
My Masters picks for this weekend. Are we doing like we're just going to choose 3 guys as possible winners?
3 possible winners, and then off the top of your head, because I already got one. Because I'm going to use.
See,
the same one
I haven't even looked at any odds. I'm just going to go with guys that always seem to perform
I'm
well
going
at
to go
this Masters.
with my 3 best, and then I'm going to go with one that's going to surprise everyone again because you laughed at me last year.
Well, I'm going to say obviously, it would be very tough to have a list without guys. I'm going to say Scotty Scheffler.
Okay.
I'm going to say a guy that always plays fantastic there, Brooks Koepka. And I'm going to go a little bit off the beaten path with my last pick, Robbie, and I'm going to say Will Zalatoris. He seems like he always shows up and performs at these big major tournaments. I think it's going to have to happen with him one of these times. That'll be my off-board pick, Mr. Zalatoris.
Oh, I got to make sure he's playing because I don't want to make a fucking retarded decision.
I have no idea if Zalatoris is playing either. I hope to God he is. Bob, is he playing?
Okay. All right. So everyone's going with Scotty Scheffler as one of them. You have to. This guy is 4-1 favorites right now to win the Masters, as he deserves to be. He's been arguably the best golfer in the world because he still had the LIV tournament. I'm not going to go with Brooks. I'm going to go with Brooks, or not Brooks. Fuck, I just said I'm not going to go with Brooks. I said Brooks. I'm going to go with Jon Rahm. I mean, this guy switched over to LIV, and with him talking about going to 72 holes, maybe it seems like it might be a little bit out of the range, but I think this guy is really, really going to show why he's worth all that fucking money. I'm going to go with Jon Rahm. The last one, I'm stuck between 2. I'm stuck between Victor Hovland and Ricky Fowler. But I'm probably going to go with Victor Hovland over Ricky Fowler. So that's my 3. And then my surprise that probably won't win, but he's going to make some noise, and maybe he does win. The same one I use every single fucking year. Phil Mickelson. That guy at the Masters is always just, and you laughed at me last year, and I think he finished top 10, top 5.
I think he was second.
He was awesome last year, Zach, and you laughed at me. I don't know what it is with Phil at the Masters. He always steps up at the Masters. I don't know how, I don't know why, but that's just when he plays at his absolute best.
And there you have it, folks. You got our live Masters picks in, and I think you've got your Monday night episode of the Sports Cave here, folks.
All right, folks, before Zach gives us that sexy intro, all I just want to say is either next Monday, I'm going to be a happy man. Either tomorrow, with my 3 hours of sleep, I'm going to be a happy or depressed man. But at the end of the day, let's fucking go Huskies! UConn Huskies! I'm not going to do all 3 times, but Huskies, UConn. Woo!
As Robbie just said, and our boy Ploof in the comments, Alexa, play Back to Back by Drake, because tonight is UConn's night.
Let's fucking go!
Folks, it's also the end of the Sports Cave Monday night. Go UConn Huskies, and go you, folks. And all we have left to say now is stay sexy. Sports Cave.